This is a test of the Boundary Park alert system.
Hello, my
Put the
God.
background on.
Hello. Oh, yeah, that's what I just took off. Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Wow.
What a shambles. I just said to Dave, I forgot what I'm doing. It just all disappeared. Hello and welcome to the Latics Football
We
Phone.
should really stop doing the jugs before the show, shouldn't we?
Do we have to?
After that, yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, so welcome to the Latics Football Phone In. We've just remembered how it works, just about.
Yeah.
Well, it?
Yeah. Well, how's your week been,
is that
Matt?
your contribution?
What,
busy, Dave.
Busy.
Yeah, very busy.
What have you been doing?
Lots of editing.
Been to Aldi as
Been
well.
to Aldi. Yeah, I went to Aldi today.
What'd you buy?
Food.
Come on.
I only buy food, me.
Is that all you buy?
And drink.
No clothes?
Nope.
Socks?
Nope.
No.
Just food and drink.
Food and drink.
So what day is it? Wednesday. we had no game yesterday for the first time in a while. We've had Tuesday games, haven't we? To talk about.
No, thank God.
No, well, we have had Tuesday games.
We've had Tuesday.
But now we haven't.
No, we
so
haven't.
Now we're struggling.
Yeah. So yeah, but there's still a burning question, isn't there?
Is there?
Who is going to be the manager of Oldham Athletic?
Well, we've got a cup game on Saturday against Altrincham, and according to Suzanne in the Times, we'll know before the next league game, which is Rochdale a week on Saturday.
Yeah.
So see you then. We'll do another phone in just when we know who the manager is.
No.
Have we supposed to have someone lined up to come on tonight?
We have. They've just texted me saying they're just running a bit late because they're
an important person with lots of busy things
to
do.
They're just having a shower.
Right. All right.
Or she said.
She said.
I've been texting ladies who are showering. It's definitely a he. So I've been texting men who are in the shower.
Let's just give a shout out to Bob.
Good
evening, everyone. Thanks for the birthday messages. If you've given him a birthday message, if you haven't,
do it.
Consider this your birthday message. Happy birthday, Bob. Many happy returns.
Yes.
One of these days, I'll remember to have some cash in my pocket to buy one of those tickets off you in the.
And I'll buy you a rag pudding because I know you like them, but I don't. So yeah.
Happy birthday, mate. Hope you've had a good day.
Also, shout out to Gaz Lord, who's not been feeling himself lately, but best wishes from the podcast team and the phoning team and everyone at Oldham. Hope you get well soon, pal.
And also to Glenn, who's in hospital. And obviously, this is making his experience worse. But hope you get better.
Looking at you.
So, this shambolic starts the phone in, but hope you get better.
Get well soon, Glenn.
All the best to you, mate. And any other business before we bring a caller in?
Any other business?
Any housekeeping? I'll tell you what we do have.
Yeah.
You know our mate Craig Lee.
Yeah.
Of the Humblebees. He's got a new single out, and I said that I would mention it to him. So can you hear that music in the background?
Oh, it's nice.
It's Craig Lee and the Humblebees. His new song called One Way Round. One Way Road.
It's good.
Out now on Spotify and all that.
Yeah. Is it on Apple?
Anyway, just search Craig Lee and the Humblebees and you'll find his new single. So all the best with that, Craig. He works really, really hard on his music.
And when you get famous, just remember that it was the phone-in who promoted you first.
Made it all happen.
Yes.
Yeah. So there we go. Right, shall we speak to our friend in Shropshire?
Yeah, why not?
Hello, Shropshire.
Hello, guys. How are you doing?
Oldham calling.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good, mate.
Yeah, not so bad. It's my kind of second interaction with this kind of stuff. I had a speed awareness course this week. Just got over it. Online speed awareness course. So don't mention 30 mile an hour limits or I don't know.
Have you been speeding, Adrian?
Yeah. 36 miles an hour. 36 miles an hour, you know. It's amazing.
In a 30 or a 20?
In the 30, yeah.
Oh, right.
There wasn't a car in sight. You know, the road was about. It's a Shropshire rule, Shropshire. Man. I'm chilling.
Listen, the rules are the rules. You ask King of the Laws.
They're not actually rules and laws. The legislation is law in this country. So yeah.
Have you got any words of wisdom for him?
Don't speed or don't get caught.
There we go.
Well, all I can say, it's amazing what you can learn after 45 years of driving various types of vehicles. You've always got something to learn.
You just learned after 45 years that you're not supposed to go speed limit.
There's so much to learn. Yeah, anyway, first question, guys. I want to know about the spicy sardine paste.
Oh, yes. What
happened to that?
Right. No, it's not. Hang on, what is it?
I'll go and get it.
Yeah. He's just going to get it because we're going to try it tonight. Because we're going to do it when you rang in. So.
Oh, I see. Right.
So.
Right. I gave some to Frank as well, Matt. Dave. I gave the same night. Because I'm thinking Frank might like some on his rowing now.
Do you know when you got your speeding ticket? Did you go, what a bag of shite that is? Because you were.
Well, I can't swear anymore because I end up on the Latics, and I don't want to really be there. You know.
Oh, the Latics! If you make the Latics, mate, you're doing all right. You know, it's a badge of honour.
I'm not. He's got it. Has he got the star? Has he got it?
Yeah, we've got it.
Has he got it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
It's
are you going to open it then?
We're going to open it now. Yeah.
Portuguese spicy sardine paste, and
I want to know how it compares. You know, I'm not a beef paste myself, you see, so I don't really know what's.
Let's try it live.
There's a bit of a whiff. There's a bit of a whiff when you opened it, man. There's a bit of a whiff there.
I can't smell anything because my smell's gone since I got COVID.
Right, so here we go. Oh, my Jesus.
Pasty.
Whoa, flip it out. Right,
is it pasty and tasty?
I'm going to...
Or is it just pasty? It's spicy.
Oh, disgusting.
I think it's all right.
It's all right.
I'll eat it. It's not for cats, is it?
Huh? David might put the women off. Is it worried it might put the women off him or something?
Yeah, the sexy Dave. But if you, God, gee whiz,
it's spicy.
It's got a
Thanks for that. I'll finish that off. He's beef only.
Beef.
Is it beef only? Yeah, anyway, just a couple of things to say tonight. I'm not going to say too much. I'm not going to swear. Okay. It's about the team. I mean, it's all well documented about what's going on with the team. I mean, I listen to the podcast, and you know, it's everything's been said that needs to be said, and I'm just hoping that something's done about it. But it appears that nothing really is being done about it. And you might ask me, would you stick with the manager and stuff? I'd probably say I would stick with him, but we desperately need some injection into the team, don't we? Really? You know, in the midfield and the right back, etc. We all know that, so I'm just hoping that that might happen. But a couple of things I'd like to speak about tonight is that I think there's not much communication from the football club at the moment. Would you agree on that? With the ticketing's quite sort of odd at the moment, isn't it? I mean, I managed to get a Rochdale ticket. I probably shouldn't have got one because I'm not a season ticket holder, but I managed to get one. And I've been waiting for about 10 days for it to come through the post, and I've tried to ring them up and stuff, and they say it's all happening. And then the Oldham game on Saturday, I mean, they released the tickets this morning, and it all seems to have gone a bit quiet. And I think the fans deserve a bit more, you know, about what's going on. What do you think on that one, guys?
Yeah, it seems a little bit strange that that some of the ticketing didn't go for season ticket orders first. That usually happens. I was amazed at how quickly the Rochdale tickets sold out. That was fantastic. That was. But yeah, waiting for certain fans. The Altrincham thing was weird. It seemed to be that it was something to do with Altrincham rather than Latics. But yeah, communication is important. I mean, I don't know.
Do you think they've got other priorities trying to get the managerial appointment in? They've been under a bit of pressure.
Oh yeah, but it wouldn't. You know, every time you look on, you look on the Oldham website. I look on, you keep an eye on what's going on. Every time you look, there's just something about the, the community trust. The youth team, So that's all fine, but there doesn't seem to be any. You know, I don't know. It just seems to be a bit sort of, well, not disconcerting, but you know, a bit sort of. Don't we deserve to, you know, just have a little update now and again as to what's going on? And I don't think you get that. And also, I mean, I don't know it's all the game. You know, I don't know it's all the games at all. I listen to as many as I can. And there's a right disconnect. So I listen to the commentary, you know, on the. I mean, we never get anything on the BBC, not really, unless we're playing in some obscure county like bloody Norfolk. You know, you never get anything, you know, down here. You never get anything on BBC Radio in Manchester. Or, but so I'm not forced, but I listen to the club commentary, and it's so far removed. You know, what's actually going on, and then you go on the fans forum and stuff, and it's so far removed from, you know, how actually the game played out, really, and it's a bit you know, I don't get that. I really don't get that, you know, because it just seems to sort of put a kind of gloss on it that isn't really there at the moment.
Well, everyone watches the games differently, don't they? I suppose everyone's got different perspectives. We have that on the podcast where, you know, people see things differently, don't we? All the time. So
it's difficult. It's difficult. But who do you think has been a standout player for you? Without. I mean, it's strangely enough, I've been listening. I mean, Shelton always gets really slagged off, and I feel a bit sorry for the bloke because, you know, when I've seen him. And up front, Gino, up front, impression.
No, I'm giving you some hints and tips here. Who's the big standout player? There he is.
Well, I mean, he's standout players. I mean, I say I don't know many matches, but I went to the Kidderminster game, and Green was fantastic. But then I listened to, you know, the reports on the game, and everybody says it's rubbish. So it's very fickle stuff going on.
Any particular striker?
Kitchen and the centre back. Senior moment, you know, the centre back, not
and striker
scored 3 goals in the last 4 games.
4 in the last 5. Alex Reid.
You recognise him?
Well, I've got to say it. Is he coming on? Oh, he's here.
I'm in.
Is it? Boom, boom, boom.
How are we?
Good evening, Alex. Welcome to the
we were trying, Alex. We really was, but thank you for joining us.
You was running out of hints.
Mate, I know, yeah. It's. I was going to say who missed that sitter on Saturday, but it's going to be. I'm only joking. I'm only kidding.
You got to forgive me. Anything that's on my right foot, you just got to forget about it. You know, I'm just a hit and a hope.
I'm only joking, mate. We always forgive you. Yeah.
Well, people have to forgive you, Dave, for this shambles every week, don't they? So, you know.
But thanks for joining us, mate. Have you got any questions for Alex, Adrian?
Yeah, I'll have to ask him how his experience was is at Oldham Athletic compared to when he was at Solihull.
It's different, really, when you think about it, because you've got to think Solihull for me was like I was back home at my mum's, and you know, I love my mum to bits, but I've not been at hers since I was probably about 19. So even spending like 3 days there, I was like, I'm ready to go home. So I was travelling back and forth from Manchester a lot. And then Oldham popped up with interest, and it was, you know, I snapped their hand off, really, because I was thinking, right, well, I'll be back in Manchester for one. Number two, the fan base is massive. I didn't realise probably how big or crazy the fan base is, but you know, I've grown to love the fans, really. And you know, you've got Solihull. You know, I liked them, but it's a tiny fan base, and it's completely different.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Hey, listen, Adrian, obviously we've got a few people to get through. Good to talk to you, mate. Listen.
Who's taking the pace then?
I'm taking
definitely
the pace though,
yeah,
mate.
it's disgusting. But thank you.
Just keep an eye on your speedometer, you young man. Just be
living in the fast lane.
Yeah, that's all I can think of to say. Goodbye, mate. See you soon. Alex Reid on my mind, and he's Oldham's 25.
There we go.
Let's have Tom a message. Yeah, it's good to have you on. Thanks for coming on, Alex. I know Dave's been mithering you because that's what he does. So he just mithers everybody until they either block him or submit. It's one or the other, isn't it?
Yeah, well, my wife ended up marrying me because I just kept on mithering her. So, mate, I'll never give.
Great tactic.
Never give up, mate. And it's. I hope you haven't found me annoying or anything like that. But obviously, the fans want you on, mate, and we do it for the fans, and this is why we hounded you, and I was outside your house waiting for you.
Don't tell him
I'm joking.
I'm looking out my window. I'm seeing signs held up. Everything I can see from my window some days.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
You've got a real rapport with the fans at Latics, haven't you, Alex? What's that feel? What's it like at a club when that happens?
It's a positive, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I cannot say a bad word about the fans. You know, good. Whether you want to cheer me or whether you want to boo me, you know, passionate fans at the end of the day is what you're after, and I take it in good spirits. You know what I mean? Whether I'm going on Twitter and reading comments saying how bad I am, or I'm going on Twitter and reading comments saying, you know, how brilliant I am. I love all stuff like that, and you know, I think it's important sometimes to remember that, you know, I don't see myself as a Premier League player. You know, I'm no different to you, to the fans. So I like to have a relationship with the fans, if that makes sense, because, you know, it's only a few years ago I'm playing Sunday League football. So it's like, I don't sort of think I play for Oldham or anyone. You know, I'd like to think no matter how high I end up playing, I'd always be like that.
Well, that's really nice to hear, because in the modern day there is quite a divide, isn't there, with, as you said, the Premier League and the Championship sort of players. And you know, as you seem very well grounded. You have the banter, you have the crack. I've seen you after the game when I've been leaving the interview with Steve Thompson. You're still signing photos and shirts for fans, and having photos and selfies. You know, that's like an hour after the game when you know, most of them would just get off in the car.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And,
yeah,
you're all about the fans, aren't you, mate?
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I
what I mean. At the end of the day, especially at, you know, our level, the fans are what make the club. Whether it's, you know, they pay the money, they come, and, you know, they're going to have an opinion. And the thing with football fans, I'm the same with Villa. I'm a big Villa fan, and we're extremists. You know what I mean? Things are either really good or things are either really bad. So it's like, I never take any of it personally. I know I look at it, you know, that's me. I'm like that when I go to Villa. I'm the exact same. So I always try and just sort of stay connected and just take it for what it is.
When did you sign for us, Alex?
It's coming up. It's coming up about a year. I think I signed back end of November/December.
So it was when Unsworth was the manager.
Yeah.
And so think how things changed in that sort of time since you've been at the club. Just, I mean, he was new, the owners were new. Things must have been still a little bit kind of like up in the air. Have things settled down? And what's your experience of it been like at Latics?
Well, I first heard the interest, and I was at Solihull, and I don't know if you remember a player called Callum Whelan. He was at Oldham.
Yeah.
And he sort of said, oh, like, I don't know, bro. Like, when I was there, like, there was all this money problems, and, you know, they had this and they had that. He says, but to be fair, I have heard the new owners have got things going now and turned it around. And then, obviously, for me, I had Kitch there, I had Hogues there, and I had John Rooney at the time there. And they sort of all, you know, they're people that I've played with over the last few years against or with. And they sort of said, look, at the end of the day, I know what you're going to hear about Oldham, and they've had problems and this and that. But trust me, the new owners have come in and it is turning around. They're trying to do things properly. You know, we've got a chef, we've got this, trainings, you know, everything we need's there. And that, them sort of three, speaking to them, that sort of reassured me. And I thought, you know what? It's like, I know it's cliche to say, but it's like a sleeping giant. And they've got a big fan base, big stadium, and owners that want to sort of move in the right direction. So it was a no-brainer.
Yeah, and obviously you play for Stockport, and you had decent success there as well. Is that sort of what you saw with Oldham, thinking National League, we're going to go for promotion? And was that what you were sort of sold by, you know, David Unsworth? And I don't know if Steve Thompson was involved in the conversations as well. Was Steve involved in it at all?
So from what I'm aware, Steve obviously was head of recruitment, and Steve was the one who actually signed me and suggested me to Unsworth. And then obviously Uns had like a look and seen, and then said, yeah, right, I'm interested. And then that was the sort of green light on it. But it was, you know, looking at the two, Stockport, Oldham, there's so many similarities in terms of, you know, like I said, fan base, stadium, right direction. So it was, and a lot of the players that I've been with at Stockport and had success were at Oldham now. So it was like, you know, you got the right people behind the, you know, in the changing rooms as well. Like.
Should we bring a
we're
fan
gonna
in?
bring a
Let's
fan in, mate,
Let's
yeah.
bring Michael in. Michael, I'm sure
Michael,
you'd
you all
like
right?
to have a chat with Reedy there, wouldn't you, mate?
You look cold, mate.
No, I'm all right. I'm not cool. I'm all right.
He looks cosy, I think.
How are we?
Hiya, Alex.
What are you doing?
Nothing. I was playing FIFA, but and then say hello to you.
What do you think of the new FIFA? Good or bad?
I think it's shite.
Need Oldham on there. They need to get a National League on there. Just spice it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
No. We need to get back in the EFL, mate.
EFL, that's what we need.
True. But in time for the next one coming out. Yeah. Well, have you got any questions for Alex?
Yeah. How do you think it's going under Stevie compared to David Unsworth?
I mean, so far so good. Really, we've had we've had 3 games. No, we've had 6 games. Sorry, 3 wins, 3 draws, and it's different. You know, Steve's completely different to how Unsworth was in terms of training's different. The way his tactics will be completely different. The way he speaks to us will be completely different. So far it's worked out. Obviously, we've got 3 massive games. We've got the FA Cup. Rochdale's obviously huge, and I used to play for Fylde, so I want to beat them. So we'll just see. I think these next 3 games will be huge, and I don't know what they're going to do in terms of the club bringing in a new manager or Steve getting the job. I'm as in the dark as all of you guys are, but we can just take it game for game, can't we?
In the changing room and amongst the lads, is there a desire for things to stay as they are with Tomo and Redders? Does it feel right?
I think if you ask the changing room, probably, because sometimes too much change is not a good thing. Do you know what I mean? We've got Steve in now. He's been in for a significant amount of time, 6 games, and for then another manager to come in, it's like, well, he might have completely different ideas and a different formation, and want to just completely rip the script up. So, but if you asking me personally, stuff like that doesn't really bother me. As long as I'm going to be playing, I'm not too fussed. But I think a lot of the lads probably would, prefer just sort of see how things go for the next few games.
In terms of, you say it's changed from Steve to David previously. What, without going into too much detail, obviously, and being respectful, what was it? Is it a lot more simplified? Is it a little bit more aggressive? Is there certain tweaks on the pitch that you do in terms of training? Is training a bit more ramped up? Is it fitness based? Is it what is it like? If you could just briefly,
for me, if I had to say, the differences would be that there's a lot more specific work in terms of right, we're playing blah on the weekend. This is how they play. This is what we're going to do. And it's more like, not simplified, but everybody sort of, there's no doubt that everyone can be on the same page in terms of how we're going to approach a game, how they play, what we're going to do. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah, so you're adapting to your specific opponent's strengths and weaknesses of that game, sort of thing.
And that's not saying that we're not focusing on us. Obviously, we know, right, this is how we play. This is the players that we've got. But I think there's a lot more work on the actual opposition who we've got to play on the weekend. And it's not a dig at Unsworth or whatever. No. But a lot of the times under him, it was sort of more, we're just good enough. We don't even care about the opposition. Where like sometimes that can come to bite you. Do you know what I mean? Because if it's not going well, it's like, well, how did these play? What we have to sort of care about the opposition, if that makes sense.
That's actually quite interesting, because I think a lot of our fans thought that that wasn't the approach, that we were more worried about the opposition than we were about going forward and punishing teams ourselves, because we seemed to be sort of quite defensively set up under Unsworth. Was that the case? Is there a bit more of an emphasis on going forward since the change in management?
To be fair, Unsworth he used to hate, his one pet peeve was playing backwards, and he used to always want us to try and play forward. I know, like, some of the times it may not have looked like that, but he was very, very like attack. Whereas like sometimes, and I find under Tomo and whatever, there's more of a calculated build-up. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like sometimes you can't always just go forward because sometimes you'll lose the ball, and like sometimes it'll have a counter reaction. Whereas like under Steve so far, it's been a lot more calculated. We can go forward when we can go forward, but we all know that we play on the front foot and we want to attack and we want to sort of, especially at home, we want to blow teams away. Do you know what I mean?
Have you got any more questions, Michael?
No, I just would like to recreate my moment. W's in the charge!
Nice.
There you go. There you go, man. Boom.
Cheers, Michael.
See you in a bit, Michael, mate.
Where did it come from, the W's in the chat then? Where did it
Do you
come
want me
from?
to be 100% honest with you on this? And,
Yeah, go on. Yeah, because I'm really interested on this.
And, I was in the car with Kitch and we were driving home. And obviously some weeks it's my week to drive, some weeks it's his week to drive. And it's my week to drive. And I just scored against, I think I'd scored against Maidstone. And I was in the car with Kitch and he says, "Oh, anyway, bro, well done on the goal."
Was that the one that you smashed in from the edge of the area?
Yeah. He says, "Well done on the goal, bro. Probably one of the best goals I've seen you score." And then he goes, "Yeah." He says the Instagram will be popping off tonight. And he goes, "Yeah, W's." He says W's in the chat, and then just got out. And then I thought, like a little light bulb just sprung into my head, and I thought, W's in the chat, yeah, I'll use that. And then I just put it as a caption. And then Kitch was like, I can't believe that you've used that now, and now everyone's ran with it. And if I told everyone that it was me who come up with that, like no one would believe me. And so that is actually the truth. Kitch actually come up with that. I'll be honest with you. But
so in terms of, as you said, like you were a sleeping giant as Oldham. What did obviously Oldham have had a massive fall from grace in the last
30 years.
30 years. What memories did you ever have? Did you ever come and watch Villa versus Oldham at Boundary Park, or watch Oldham?
I've got one experience of Oldham, and my friend. This was maybe going back 2 years ago, year and a half. I don't know. My friend was playing for Accrington, and I think it was a check trade game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
And I went to the Oldham game, but I think I was sitting in the Accrington stand, and I've got a photo on my phone of me at the Oldham game, recording and whatever. And then I remember watching this player, and he was like a tall black geezer, and he had like tights on, and I was thinking, flipping hell, it's a player he is, and he just every time he got the ball, he's doing like 10 step overs and like 10 chops, and then. But I was thinking, wow, as a player, and then about 30 minutes into the game. There was about 50 tennis balls just bang, 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 bang on the pitch. And I was like, what the hell's going on? And then the fans were doing a protest to get rid of the owners. And I was like, flipping out, them fans are nuts. And that was my only ever experience of Oldham. And then I left.
That would be Bahambula,
Yeah,
wouldn't it? That would have been Bahambula.
Yeah,
He's playing in Livingston now.
Yeah.
He was king of the step over, weren't he?
He was.
Couldn't believe it. I was thinking, first of all, why is he wearing tights?
Yeah.
And then second of all, I was thinking, wow, there's about 50 tennis balls on the pitch. What the hell's going on? So that is my one and only experience of Oldham. And I got a parking ticket from where I parked my car. That was it.
Yeah.
In terms of,
that's 2 traffic offences.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, 2 traffic offences. In terms of the number 25, was that a number you picked, or was that just given to you as like a squad number?
No, so that was literally, I spoke to Unzi. And I said to him, he said, what number do you want? And I was 19 at Solihull. I was 19 at Stockport. And I'm really like the least superstitious person in the world. So like, you could put me as number flipping, I don't know, 125.
69.
Like I could not care less about numbers. And he said to me, well, we've got 25. 45 or 28, and I was like, I'm not bothered. I said, 25. I'll take 25 then. And then it wasn't until the song got created. I think I was on the bench at Chesterfield and I was warming up, and then I heard something, and I was like, are they singing my name there? Was that me in the song, or was that just like is that just like a catchy song? But yeah, the 25 was literally just random. Nothing to do with me at all.
Yeah, it fits nice in the song though, doesn't it? So
friends of the show, the Scarf Bagara podcast was like, just wondering where you got the high number from, because they're like the Stockport County podcast who we are mates with, and they were like, we never got Reedy on our show, so we beat him again.
Beat him again. Yeah. I think I will bring another caller in a second, but I love it when you can see how much it means to players. Like, I think we've got to give a big shout out to the Atleticos, because like years ago, you probably saw it when you were there at that game, there was no atmosphere, there was hardly any crowd, it was really, really poor, and they've made a real effort, and now it's, we switched ends as well, because we used to be in the Chaddy end, and now that Rochdale Road end is, especially at this level, it's quite impressive and it's quite noisy. But when you guys score down at the bottom and you all come running over and you can see the shared joy and passion, I really love that. And I think Joe, not only when he scored the other week, you could see it on his face, and certainly when you come over, and what was that last away game? Kidderminster, when you were down there, it was, after you scored the winner and stuff. It means a lot, doesn't it, when everything comes together like that, when goals are scored. That's got to be the best thing about being a striker, and it just those moments.
It is. It's like, I've said it before, I can play crap for 89 minutes and then toe poke one in from a yard, and it's like hysterics. And that's the one thing that people like Kitch and goalkeepers, and they don't get. Do you know what I mean? I always say they sort of have to be good footballers, because it's like, well, you've got to sort of play well and actually have a good game, whereas I can be having a rubbish game and then I've scored the winner and it looks brilliant, and it's like, oh wow, you've scored the winning goal. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you were sort of out in the cold a little bit, I think it's fair to say, before you came on at York, and then you spanned that defender who was like 7 foot tall, and just hit it first time. And I was quite surprised that you didn't take a couple of touches, and it just came so natural to you. And I thought, flipping out, you can finish. But it must be really difficult when you've not had the game time to then just have a couple of minutes here, a couple of minutes there. But it just feels like you just come straight back into the squad. Is that about mental belief and confidence that you have to work on yourself? Obviously, training's training, but that mental aspect, I don't think a lot of fans appreciate what you do as a striker when you're not in the team and you're only getting 2 minutes here, 3 minutes there. Like 10. I think you like to play 10 minutes at most in one game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was tough, obviously, because the start of the season, and it's sort of pre-season. I come back and I'm always in shape. I like to keep myself in shape, and I come back in pre-season fit, and I was probably the best runner there. Done very, very well, and I thought during pre-season I've scored a few goals, I've played well, and I was fully expecting to go into the season and be starting to be sitting there sort of 9 games in, and I've only got one start under my belt, and the one start that I do get, Mike decides to flip in, get sent off, and I'm up front on my own. I was sort of like, flipping out, but I don't know, with me, I especially at this level, I'm always like, I know I will score goals, but just it's given the opportunity and given the chance to play games. I always sort of sat there and thought, you know what, if I was to start that game, or if I would have played against Aldershot, I'd have scored, or like if I'd have done, I just feel I need to be given a run of games. And that's sort of, I know I'm going off track, but that's what I got at Stockport with Jim Gannon, the manager. He was sort of like one of the first managers to be like, right, I believe that I've looked at you, I know you score goals, so I'm going to let you sort of go out there. And some days he dragged me off at half time and was like, you was absolutely awful. But then the next game would come along and he'd be like, you know what, I'm putting you back out there, because I know if you get a chance or a couple of chances, you will put one away. And I feel like that's sometimes what I need. I need someone that's going to be like, right, some days, and admittedly, like the weekend, I thought it was awful. I thought I was terrible. And like, I've had a chance, missed it, didn't really get in the game. But then, there's games where I just sort of think, if I'm given game time, I will score goals, and I'll always back myself to score goals. So going back to your question, yeah, it was tough to be like on the bench, coming on for 10 minutes here and there. But I always knew and believed that given the chance, I would score goals.
Right, 2 questions.
Go on.
First one, who is your ideal strike partner out of the strikers that we've got at the club already? And the second question, how good a group of forward players is that at this level? And not just the strikers, but the squad as a whole, because you've played for a number of clubs at this level. So how would you rate that squad, and who, if you had to pick, do you think is the best complementary striker for you?
It's tough because pre-season, if you'd have asked me start of the season, I'd have said Fondop all day, because I sort of thought during pre-season we were paired up a lot, and I love Mike to bits, but sometimes you never know what you're going to get. At Solihull, I've turned around and I'm just thinking, Mike, no, you don't need to tackle him like that, and he's sent off. Do you know what I mean? So if you would have asked me then, I probably would have said Mike, but I've not played as much. Me and Joe Nuttall, we had like a running joke last year that like I used to look at him in the changing room and be like, is this the week that he's going to do it then, or what? Like, I mean, you're actually going to play together. It's like it's weird with me and Joe. Like, I feel like we never really get to play together that much. And the last 2 games I've played with Norse, and I've enjoyed that as well. But it's so different. I think if we're playing a total footballing team and we're playing total football, I'd say Norse, because Norse is very like, he'll get the ball to feet, turn, slide. Whereas if we're looking to go direct and like it's horrible, and what I'd probably say Mike, because Mike is just, just brute strength with a little bit of, he could turn around and then score an overhead kick. Do you know what I mean? But
there are quite a lot of combinations that we haven't really seen yet, isn't there? Because there are so many, like 5 strikers. Like we haven't seen the combinations yet. So
I thought I thought Wilston was a tough game to go to, but you and Kurt linked up pretty well for your goal. And again, I think there's another chance that you had in the before that you could have put away as well, couldn't you? But I like that combination. It was quite good.
So what's this? What's this squad of players like then, as in terms of like quality from compared to where you've been before? And obviously some of them you've been with before, but
I think in terms of strike forces, it's heavily strong, because even if you looked at when I was at Stockport, it wasn't sort of this many options that we could have. We could have me and Mike and Kurt, and I could go on and on. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like as a squad, again, it is strong, because you see the players that, Harrison. I can never say his second name properly, but Harrison he's just come back from injury, but he's a great player, and he's not even in the squad. We've got people like Charlie Ragland, doesn't make the squad recently, great player. So as a squad, and I think it's a little bit of a criticism of the National League. I think the whole 5 subs, especially if you're a manager that keeps a goalkeeper on the bench, it's like sometimes it can kill players. I've been there. Whereas like you're not always getting left out because you're doing rubbish or you're not good enough. It's like because I can't really fit you in because we've got to put a goalkeeper on the bench, and we've only sort of got 4 options then. So I think our squad is very, very strong. But again, it's all right having a good squad. It's putting stuff together. You can have it. I've been in teams where the squad you're looking at thinking we're awful, but how are we winning games? Do you know what I mean? So it's all good having a good squad. It's putting it together.
Is it just a question of time? Do you think now, in terms of all getting to know each other's games and stuff? Because we're obviously all dying for it to click and see us on a good run up the table. What do you think it is? Can you put your finger on why it's been? I know obviously the last 6 games have been much better, but it's obviously not been the best start to the season, has it?
No, I mean, we had 10 games, didn't we? Where we had 1 win in 10, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to say that it's not good enough at any level, is it? Whether I was playing Sunday League or Premier League, 1 win in 9 is no good. So obviously the manager was let go and whatever, and we've had obviously 3 wins, 3 draws. But I think if you look deeply into it, it's like I said to Kitch in the car, I can't believe it, man, because the last 3 games have been like polar opposite. Like we've gone 1-0 up and sort of not been able to hold on and sort of win ugly. I think if we can get that about us, and it's like, I think what people don't realise is that fans don't care. You know, if we would have won 1-0 the last 3 games, fans wouldn't have cared. It'd have been like, this is brilliant.
Absolutely.
Whereas when you sort of draw in 1-1 last minute, it's like, wow, like it makes it look a lot worse than it actually is. Like, you can take positives from the game and think, you know what, we've drew the last 3 games, we're undefeated in 6, or you can put a negative spin on it and say, well, we were winning 1-0 in the last 3 games and we've ended up drawing the game, so we've dropped 6 points. But it goes back to what I said with fans. Fans are extremists. It's never going to be like, oh yeah, and you know what, it's just okay. It's going to be like, it's either really bad or really good.
Yeah. I'm the fickle. You might as well say it. They're really fickle, aren't they, mate?
Yeah, they are. But I'm the same with Villa. Villa lost 5-1 against Newcastle opening day, and I was like, Unai Emery's crap. He's shite. And then we go and beat somebody. I can't remember who it was. We beat somebody the next week 4-0 at home, and I'm like, well, unbelievable. We're getting Champions League. So there's no sort of in between. And that, like I said to you, that's why I don't take anything personally. Whether you want to say I'm crap, I'm unbelievable, I don't take it personally, and I don't get too high or low on it.
Yeah, no, that's the best way, mate. Right, let's bring Jack in. He's been very patient.
Jack, are you there,
he's
mate?
Upside down. Oh, there you are. All right, Jack. Regular
Jack,
caller to the show.
Hi, you're right.
I'm good.
On Saturday,
Yeah,
it 1-1. It was a decent game, but it reminded me of Tuesday, like Reid was saying there. We've gone 1-0 up and then we've ended 1-1. And like you were saying, there's positives, there's also negatives. And you can sort of see what's happening and what Thompson's telling him to do. So altogether, I feel like he's like sort of like a master plan. It's all coming together, but it's going to need time.
Have you got a specific question for Alex? Have you got anything you want to ask him, mate?
You know, if let's say you've been played through 1-on-1, what's the first thought that goes in your mind?
Honestly, first thought in my mind, it's a tough one because like sometimes I'm not even thinking. It's like the ball will go through, and I'll just react to it. And I've been 1-on-1 with keepers so often in my life. It's like it's just an instinct. Whereas like say Saturday, for example, I'm just thinking, right, it's on my right foot. I'm terrible on my right foot, really. Just hit the target. Whereas, like, there's been other times where I scored against Maidenhead last year and it sort of bounced on my right foot and I've just smacked it and it's gone in on the volley. And I'm thinking, how the hell have I done that? I hadn't even thought about it. So the honest answer is I'm not really thinking. And I know some fans might be thinking, well, that's the problem. You're not thinking when you were... But, like, you just don't. It's so quickly. I've not really got time to go through and think, right, the goalkeeper's doing this, so I ain't got the time.
Well, your body knows what to do over your mind, doesn't it? You find that when you play football, sport, or whatever, when you're in that flow state of instincts, you tend to perform better because once your head starts getting into it, it's like penalty shootouts and stuff. Once your mind starts taking over, it's much more difficult, isn't it? Yeah. But that's the thing with a one-on-one, isn't it? So sometimes you have time, don't you, to think about it.
Yeah,
and
sometimes you got time, and like
I
said to Nors on the weekend. I said, did I have more time than I thought? And he was like, not really. He says, but it's one of those, if you hit the target there, it probably goes in.
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't really know. The defender could have been about 20 yards away from me. I wouldn't have even known.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's football, isn't it? Have you got any other questions for Alex, Jack?
In your whole squad, the whole squad, what formation would you play if you were the manager?
Good question.
Oh,
Jack.
well done.
Question. I prefer, personally, I like playing the 3-5-2 because I think in terms of like what you get defensively, you can go back into a 5, but attacking wise, you've got the wing backs right on, and you know, fullbacks aren't really fullbacks nowadays anyway, and I get to play with two up front, and then you've got the sort of 3 in midfield. I personally like a 3-5-2 if I was in charge. You
want Kitch to get a bit of glory, don't you, mate? That's what you think about. You think about General K, aren't you?
I'm absolutely gagging for him to score. He was when I come off the other day. Was it the other game or I can't remember. I came off the other game and he went through and I was thinking, go on, and then he skied it over. But I'm gagging for him to score because It's just funny. He's one of those people, like, and I can't even explain it. He makes me laugh, and he's not even trying to make me laugh.
He is very dry, isn't he? I've met him when we were doing those videos. He was like, "No, I'm not doing it." And I was like, "Oh, come on!" That's to twist his arm. You ended up having to twist his arm, didn't you? For
How he's not got his own reality TV show, like I've never known, because he is the funniest person you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of those, you do have your little TikTok match day vlogs and that. They're good, aren't they? Have you seen them, Jack?
Yeah, follow him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I followed him and he didn't know who I was, so we had to put that right. So just be warned.
I did like that video. To be fair, yeah, that was good.
It was done by. Have you seen the Latics account on Twitter as well? The Latics.
My mom, obviously, mom's being moms. My mom follows everything and whatever, and she always sends me like you sent me the video, and then she sent it me like 10 minutes later. And I was like, "Oh no, I've seen it, Mum." But she was like, "Oh, I wonder who this Latics account is, because he's doing this, that, and the other." And I'm like, "Oh, Mum, honestly, like, I don't know. Like, and she's always like sending me like, this person said this, and like that person said this about you." And I'm like, "Mum, like, again, I don't really care." But
the Latics account has to remain a secret, because if it ever gets revealed, he'll get sacked.
Or she
will get sacked, because they clearly do no work. They spend all the time doing these videos, so I think that's why it needs to remain a secret. But
Jack, have you got any final? Have you got? Oh,
that's the question I was going to ask. Go on,
Jack. Sorry, mate.
How good is Josh Lundstrom?
How good is Josh? Josh Lundstrom is very, very good. It was, I think he was heavily missed in midfield. You know what I mean? And like with his knee, it was a bit of a weird one, because it was in pre-season and it didn't sort of look like he'd done anything. But knee injuries are weird, aren't they? And like I was like I said, I was on my TikTok live, and every odd question, it'd be like, "Where's Lundstrom? When's Lundstrom coming back?" And I says, "Come in training." I says to him, "Fucking hell, how many? Are you like planting people on the live to like ask me questions about you or what?" But I was just like, "He's coming back. He's coming back. He's coming back." But he's something a little bit different to what we've not got. Do you know what I mean? He's someone that will take risks on the ball and drive at defenders and slide balls, and he's not really, from playing with him so far, it's great for me. He's not someone who's really interested in scoring that many goals. So it's like, right, brilliant, pass me the ball. And
so
I'll
it's just
score.
a provider.
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah.
And some people get pleasure from that. Do you know what I mean? Like, they love setting goals up more than they love scoring goals, which is great for the strikers and me. Do you know what I mean?
All the best teams that we've had over well, there's not been that many of them, but when we've had the best teams we've had have had that ball play midfielder. We think of Richie Wellings and
Neil Redfern,
Redfern, Sheridan, like the midfielder that spots the pass and the players that run onto it. What I was just going to ask a similar question actually, Jack, about like what have we got still that, you know, that people like Dan Ward who struggled with fitness. You mentioned Harrison McGahey. Like, there's still some players in the squad there that we've not seen, because it must be a shame for Dan as well. He's hardly played a game, has he, since he joined?
Yeah, I mean, that Ward is honestly top guy. And like when we played Gateshead last year, they were, you know, if I'm just speaking honestly, they were like a mouthy lot. And I was thinking, you know, who the hell are these lot, like talking in the tunnel and like mouthing off on the pitch? And I was thinking, so when he first come, I was a little bit like, I wonder if he's a bit like that, if I'd get on with him. But honestly, top guy. And like, he gets a lot of stick in the canteen and what. I don't know if you'll have seen, because he plasters, like, he can wax down 3 waffles on a Friday, but so he gets a lot of stick for that. And he's got his nickname amongst the squad is Waffle Arse. But because he just loves waffles, lives for waffles. His birthday the other day and he brought in waffles. But again, like, you know, going back to the question, he's someone that the fans probably won't have seen yet. And, you know, you've got people like him just waiting in the wings, which just says a lot about the depth of the squad, really.
Yeah. Thanks for your call, Jack.
Cheers, mate.
See you. Have a nice day.
You too, mate. Cheers, pal. Just talking about Gateshead, like Gateshead, good side, aren't they? Like they're doing it again this season. Like they played us 3 times last season and we didn't get a sniff out of them. But looking ahead to the weekend, we've got Altrincham away. Last season, I'm not sure if you played in that game or not, but it was absolutely dreadful. It was
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night. We lost 1-0. Terrible game. From our point of view. Sorry.
Away,
Is
yeah.
this-
Yeah,
Well-
away. Yeah. Because we drew 2-2, didn't we? They went down to 10 men and then equalised, didn't they? With
Well, it was at home, that.
the home game.
The
Yeah,
home
yeah,
way,
yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I mean, at home. So we didn't beat them last season, and then they've won 5 straight games on the bounce. So what I know, we're unbeaten in 6. So I'm guessing you're feeling like, and it's obviously going to be tough going away from home, but you're going to go feeling like confident going toe to toe with them.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I've got, personally, I've got a good record against Altrincham, and it's weird because I know a few lads that played there or used to play there, and they were like, "How weird's this, bro?" I was like, "What?" There was like, when we played you in that 2-2 game, it's like our whole team talk was like, "Do not let that little shy Alex Reid score because we're not being the butt of his joke on his fucking Instagram." And I was like, "Really?" And I had like words with one of their players. I won't repeat what I was saying to him because my mom's probably listening. But so it was a weird one really, because I was sort of like, well, that's strange. But I scored a hat trick against them for Solihull, and I think I must have put something, as I do on Instagram, about it. So it was sort of like they didn't want me to score, and I found that weird. But it's you couldn't ask for a better FA Cup draw, really, could you? It's local, number 1, so the fans will be there in numbers. Number 2, they're in good form. We're in pretty good form, and it's the FA Cup, isn't it? I want to play,
Villa
teams. I want to play Villa. I want to play Stockport. I want to play, different teams. So
I tell you what, that would be Villa away.
Villa away.
I've never been to Villa Park, and it's my favourite.
God.
It's my favourite stadium in the country. I think it's just magnificent. It's got it's
Unreal.
like old, and but it's got its history, its heritage. So Villa away, to get in the third round, it's a long way though, 4 games, and it's
We'll
going to be a
get there.
tough one. But I can't wait for Saturday as well. Hopefully we'll pack it out, and it's hard to make noise when there's no roof, but we'll give it our best go.
Isn't it as well? The FA Cup, it's like a different feel. Do you know what I mean? It's like right. It's did it do replays in round 1 or not?
I'm not
sure. No, it's straight
to
penalties, mate.
It's straight to penalties, isn't it? So it's like it's one game. There's going to be a winner on the night. I mean, I'm going the boxing on the night, so I'm hoping it's not going on for too long. But
just get another hat trick and get it sorted.
Hopefully, we can get it done in 90 minutes. But it'll be good. I'm really excited for it. I am.
Can we make a deal with you? If you score on Saturday, can we have a bit of a phone-in shout-out? Can we have a bit of that?
We'll do it. We'll do a call, mate. Little phone in for you. I promise.
That'd be quality.
Oh, Brad, you've been correct here. Replay Tuesday. Because I think when last season we got taken to replays against Chester and
Peterborough Sports. Peterborough Sports was the FA Trophy, so that's direct to penalties. Sorry.
Get your facts right.
Yeah, that was. What about Rooney's penalty, man? What was that about? That was like.
That was I can't remember his penalty, but I just remember I played in that game and I was thinking, wow, you are bad at football. Like, how bad have you just played in that game? And I was thinking, this is just, if I'm getting, because we were losing at one point to Peterborough, and I was like, this is just what's going on here. But yeah.
It was a little dink chip penalty, but the keeper just caught it in the middle, and it was just like, oh dear.
Yeah.
Right, let's bring in Ibby. He's always very patient, and he's waiting. Have you got Ibby? How are you?
Evening, guy. You all right?
Yeah, you.
Good, mate. You?
I'm all right, Dave. I hope you're okay, Dave and Matt.
Yeah, very well.
Good,
thanks,
mate.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for bringing Alex Reid on the show.
It's Alex you have to thank, not us, mate.
Absolutely. Thanks to Alex.
I'm just happy that he's come on. I'm just happy that he's getting his opportunity, because last season he didn't have much of a shout out, and we kept telling David Unsworth, why you're not playing him? But as you know, he's not at the club now, so we don't have to go backwards now.
Yeah.
Have you got a specific question for Alex?
My question only is that are you fully going to support Steve Johnson hopefully getting this Oldham job?
I mean, it's tough for me, isn't it? Because like I said to the guys, who gets the job for me? It's not really. I'm not too fussed as long as the team's winning and I'm playing, and I don't sort of want to. it's a double-edged sword question for me because I can't come on here and say, oh, no, I don't want Steve to get the job. But then I can't come on here and say, well, oh, no, I want Steve to get the job, because one way or another, it's going to go one way, isn't it? It's either Steve's not going to get the job and then a new manager's going to come and he's like, well, I heard that you didn't want a new manager, but Steve could get the job. And it's like, well, I heard you wanted a new manager. So
you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, Alex.
So it's like, I'm going to have to sit on the fence on that one. And
no,
just,
it's fine. It's fine, mate.
But if I'm being absolutely honest with you, it really doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I can understand that, but he's put smiles on players' faces and he's well respected in football.
Yeah, no, he is, and there's no doubt about it. The last 6 games have been a lot more positive, and that's not just on the pitch; that's around the camp. Do you know what I mean?
He comes across quite a calm guy, but I interviewed him after the game against Dagenham. I could see he was absolutely raging after that. Was he? What's he like when he's got a bit? Has he got a bit of everyone's got a bit of a nasty side, but is it like? Is he a bit of a hairdryer, a bit of a Ferguson in disguise, or is it like you've let me down a bit of a quiet side?
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet, but like you said, that can get brought out of anyone. I've seen, my nan's the loveliest lady in the world, but I'm sure if you told her she can't go swimming for the next year, you'd see that side come out of her. Do you know what I mean? So I haven't seen it yet, but he's very calm and calculated about what he says, what he's saying to us, and I think he sometimes, especially the last 3 games, he doesn't need to say anything to us. We know, I know, because I'm sitting there raging, thinking, Wildstone 1-0. Me scoring looks brilliant, but 1-1, it's rubbish.
Yeah.
And I'm as disappointed as anyone. I'm as disappointed as you. I'm as disappointed as the fans. I'm as disappointed as Steve will be. So he doesn't need to say anything. We're all grown-ups. We know.
Yeah. Alex, do you think we're aiming for the playoffs? Is that our main target this season? Because Chesterfield are most likely going to run away with the league.
I think it has to be, doesn't it? There's no... I could sit on the fence with an answer like this, but I'm not gonna, because it has to be. I think anything other than sort of the playoffs, I'm gonna look at it and be like, we should do better. You're gonna look at it and be like, you know what? A team like us with a pitch like ours, a budget like ours, and a fan base like ours, why shouldn't we be going for the playoffs at minimum? So, if you're asking me personally, 100%, I want to be in them playoffs and I want to sort of, play in them big games at the end of the season.
Both me and you, Dave, at the beginning of the season when we did our predictions, predicted that we were going to start slowly. And improve as the season goes on, and I think that's just because of the amount of players that have come in, and obviously now we've had with the managerial situation and stuff like that, and I think there's plenty in this squad, and I think that is going to be the case. I think all right, the last few games we struggled a little bit, but
we've still got points, though, haven't we?
Yeah, exactly.
I think a few weeks before we would have succumbed to probably a defeat, or I don't think the mentality was right, in my personal opinion, and I'm not asking you to answer that question. I don't think the mentality was there to see out a game. I think there was a little bit of negativity creeping in, a bit of worry, and just maybe trying a bit too hard. I don't know, but what do I know?
Ibi, thanks for your call, pal.
Cheers. Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye, guys.
See you, mate. We got this about asking if you're excited about Rochdale. Now, you won't have played in Rochdale, Latics v Rochdale away, will you? Because obviously it's the first time they've come down, but it's pretty special. There's usually more of us there than there are Rochdale fans, and the Latics fans are well up for it on that game.
Yeah. The on my lives, a lot of the questions I've been asked all the time is like, are you buzzing for Rochdale? They call it Dogdale sometimes.
Drugdale. Bin Dippersville.
Dogdale, Drugdale. Like, what do you think of us selling that? And like, I'm buzzing for it. Big games is like, I was, if I'm speaking honestly with you, I was sitting on the bench at Chesterfield, gutted, watching the atmosphere, and it's a big game, and we've got loads of away support, and I was injured in the warm up. By Mike Fondop, that goes back to like me saying you just don't know what you're
two-footed Fondop.
Like he's absolutely halving me in a warm up, and I'm thinking, Mike, like why would you do that? And he's sort of like, sorry, Reedy. And I'm like, I know, bro, but like, how have you done that? Like, what's just happened there? But like, I was on the bench. I'm not saying I was starting, but I was on the bench regardless. And I was sitting there gutted, thinking, wow, you know, like, I'd love to play in that. And, you know, I don't care what anybody says as a footballer, you enjoy it just as much, like the lads have won, but you enjoy it that little percentage more when you're on the pitch and you're involved in it. And so the Rochdale game, I'm buzzing for it. Do you know what I mean? I'm well up for it, and you know, it'll be a huge game for us, huge game for them, huge game for both, you know, little towns.
Reedy, I've got 4 questions for you, and they're about your squad, and they're only a bit of fun. Who is the most unfashionable player in the squad?
Easy one, absolute easy one. Mike Fondop. He can be seen coming in winter in like full basketball kits. He had on like a pink Nike tracksuit the other day. You just don't know what you're going to get with him. It's very like just out there colours, and it's just not for me.
If it kicks off in a game, which player are you standing behind?
2-part answer. I would say number 1, Liam Hogan, because when he wants to be, angriest man I've ever met, and I've played with him at Stockport. When did he lose his head at me? The last game that I've not the last home game, the game before that where I scored. Who did we play? Maidenhead. Was it Maidenhead at home last? Yeah. And they were meant to. I'm not really trusted to mark on a corner, and they'd changed their setup in the box. So I was like looking, and there was nobody on the edge, and I was like, I says to Tomo, like, there's no one on the edge. And then he was like, just mark. And then I said to Hogs, who do you want me to mark? He was like, him. And then by the time I'd turned around to see, the corner had come in, and he has like a free header and heads it. And then like Devon clears it off the line. Hogs sort of just turned and looked at me. And he just like, he didn't even say anything. He just went like, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, Hogs. Like, I didn't even realise. But like, probably Hogs is the angriest man I probably know.
Who's the tightest in the team?
Ooh, good question. I think, and I've not experienced it yet, but from what I've been told, it's Devon. He hasn't paid his fines, apparently. I think he's the only one that's not paid his fines yet. And number 2, the lads say he's like the last to get around in with the boys. I don't know though. I've known Devon for years, and like our families are families because he's from Birmingham as well. So I've not experienced it. So I don't sort of want to come on here and you know, shit on him.
Too late.
Yeah,
mate.
but
we all now think he's the tightest.
And finally, interpret this in it whichever way you want. Who's the longest in the shower?
Oh, wow. If we take myself out of the equation, because that just wouldn't be fair for me to hurt myself, I would say I hate to give him two sort of answers, but probably Fondop. He's like, you know, I can't even repeat what he's told me, but yeah, Fondop.
Tex Ages. What a guy. Very clean man.
Well, it's that fashion sense that he's got.
That's what I mean. So, he likes to keep himself clean. So
that's it. That Redox is
it takes a while to clean stuff.
Mr. Mike Fondop. What a character.
Right, let's quickly bring in Graham. He's been waiting very, very patiently before we make our big announcement.
Yeah.
The second big announcement.
Big announcement.
After Mr. Reid
nice.
Joining us. Hello, Graham.
Hi, guys.
Graham is north of the border.
Yep.
Is it snowing up there yet, mate?
Not yet, but it's flooded.
Oh, no. Seriously? That's not good, is it?
Yesterday in the train station at the platform with a kayak.
Oh, wow.
You've not been affected, have you?
Not really. It's more further towards Glasgow, Edinburgh way than that's
right. That's not funny, Dave. People are in kayaks, man.
Sorry.
I'll email honestly. But Alex, yeah, at Villa Park once. It's an amazing stadium.
Oh, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
I was there in '96 when Scotland played Switzerland, when McCoy scored the goal, and then you guys let a goal in against Holland and put us it.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Sorry about that. Not really.
all right. You're right, Alex. Being a striker, right, and you say you're not strong, your right foot, right?
Mm-hmm.
First penalty in the playoff final or last penalty in the playoff final with your right foot?
Oh, with my right foot. Oh, I would always go because in my heart of hearts, I am a glory hunter, and I'd love the glory of having the last penalty. You know, I think it's 50-50, isn't it? I'm either going to score or I'm going to miss. So you flip a coin. I'd be absolutely devastated if I missed 100%, but it's worth it, isn't it? Taking it with my right foot, you 50% chance of being a hero, good odds.
And you'd never take it with your right foot anyway, would you?
Absolutely no. The only time I'm ever fined in training at football is like when I've took a shot with my right foot and it just flies over, and then you've got like Hogs who like controls the fines. He's like shouting like, "Way, fine," and I just think to myself every time, why am I even swinging my right foot? Like I know better than to do that. So yeah, last penalty, 100%.
Got any more questions, Graham?
Well, I've just been impressed with Will Sutton this year as well. He's been quite good since he came back.
Yeah.
But my question was, right, when you play the five-a-sides in training,
Mm-hmm.
who likes to take you out a lot?
Oh, again, I know I'm giving him a lot of press in this podcast, but Mike Fondop, he is. If there's a five-a-side in training, you better pray and hope that you're on Mike's team, because it can be a stray elbow. I've seen him in training last year. Somehow, Peter Clark was on the floor, and somehow Mike's ended up kicking him in the face. And I'm like, he's the type of person you just sort of think, like, how's that's harder to do than it is not to do. Like, how's that even happened? But yeah, defo Mike Fondop, 100%.
But I've been off for a few weeks on holiday, and I've been watching the games on the National League one. But yeah, your form's been impressive.
Yeah, no, I've been doing okay so far. It's I'm at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, I'm judged on my goals, and I'm going to be judged on how many goals I've scored and the games that I've played in. So far, I'm doing okay, but still a long way to go.
He's just told us he's due a hat-trick at Altrincham on Saturday.
And then 4 against Rochdale.
News.
Yeah. Here, as long as we win.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's it, mate.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Graham.
Cheers, mate. We're going to have to move on now because we're getting towards...
We've kept Alex long enough. Mate, Alex, just stick around. We've just got this big announcement to make. Stick around, mate.
Now, you didn't come last year to the Boundary Park Alert Systems Live and Beefy. Mike was there because he scored the goal this season. You were in the contention.
Yeah.
Your goal against Maidstone.
I did pick you match-yours, Mike.
I'll be honest, I did vote for myself twice.
Yeah.
So.
Good lad.
Fair enough. You
couldn't get it over the line.
But we had a great do, and we're looking forward to the playoff winning party later on in the season. But before that,
yeah.
it's the Christmas party to end our Christmas parties, the Boundary Park Alert System Christmas do.
And it's on Mad Friday.
Nice.
It's the day before Gateshead at home, which we're going to try and get special dispensation off the club. But you are our first guest invite. So can we count on you down there, mate?
I appreciate it. Yeah, 23rd of December.
Friday 22nd. Yeah,
Friday 22nd.
We're going to have a table for the club anyway. We'll have a table for whoever can make it from the club to come down because they all came to the end of season one last season, and
fun and games. We've got a few games, bit of laugh, live singer, a few. Well, you won't be drinking because you're playing the day after, but we'll have yours.
Pie supper, beef paste sandwiches on the table.
Yeah, man.
Just keep you going.
No, I look forward to it. I'll either bring kitchen with me or I'll bring a little date with me.
Don't bring Mike Fondop with you though, because
no, it's not safe.
Yeah, it's not.
not
He
the
it's
same.
behaved last time. He behaved.
No,
He was good
to
as
be
gold.
fair, he was there. Maybe it's when
My
he's around.
wife thought, she said, that's the look. I can't believe he's a footballer. He's just such a gentle, lovely man. That's what my wife
It's
said.
not the
So,
impression we've got of him this evening.
That's what tell her she needs to watch him on the pitch then when he's when he's let loose sometimes.
yeah,
No, it's
well, that's
brilliant.
it. Mate, we can't thank you enough.
No,
for
it's
coming
been
on
brilliant.
tonight,
I've
mate.
really enjoyed it,
And
mate.
you've been honest and you've been very, insightful, and
Yeah.
we really thank you. And I'll get you something sorted for coming on as well, mate. So really do.
Yeah,
appreciate
no,
it.
I appreciate it, guys. Honestly, it's my mom. She'll hate me for saying it, but she listens to your podcast and she's always, saying how funny it is, how good it is, and she was like, "You've got to go on." You're like, "I'd love to listen to you." I know she said to me tonight, "Don't mention that I'm listening," but I
Hi,
haven't-
Mrs.
I haven't-
Reid.
I haven't listened to my mom for many years now, so yeah, sorry, I can't. So a little shout out to her, but no, I've really enjoyed it, and yeah, hopefully we can get a win on Saturday. Hopefully we'll get a win against Rochdale, Dogdale, whatever you want to call it.
Definitely Dogdale.
Definitely Dogdale.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I mean, we this football club it's been through the mill. We've had a rough time, and all we want heroes on the pitch. We want goals. We want to win games. We want those big occasions, we just want every single one of you as players and all the staff to do really well. We're all right behind you. So best of luck for the rest of the season. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, no, appreciate it, guys.
Nice
Thanks,
one.
mate.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Take
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.
What a great guest.
What a great guest.
Fantastic.
Nearly as good as us.
I mean, with a bit of media training, he'll
Mate,
get
he
up to
was
speed,
class.
won't he?
He class, but we get the guests.
No, you get the guests.
Well, I get the guests,
To be
but
fair
it's
to
a
him.
team effort.
To be fair to him, Mithers, and he gets there. But that was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. What a lovely guy.
Yeah, class.
Really,
I
really
hope you fans enjoy it. And you want to buy us a coffee for the.
Or even better, go over to the OAFC podcast website now and buy a ticket for the Christmas do, because it's going to be carnage.
Or do both.
Or do both, yeah. But honestly, we're going to have an absolute riot. It's 20 quid, right? But you're going to get pie supper,
Beef
paste
paste,
sandwiches,
fun, games,
fun
ale,
games, live music,
Dave,
special
Matt.
guests, all that. And it's just going to be
music.
Mad Friday.
A disc jockey. Now then.
Right.
Yep.
You did that
I
last
know,
week.
sorry.
And it's going to be great. So we'd love to see you. We'd love to have a party with you. Let's all go to the gates again. Rough as dogs.
Yeah.
Rough as Dogdales.
No, not as rough as them.
No.
Not that rough.
Right. Yeah, exactly, Graham. You can actually physically buy us a pint then. But
Yeah,
not all of you,
loads.
'cause we'll be-
Yeah, buy me as many
not
as you
too
want.
drunk. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to getting everybody together and doing that at Christmas. And hopefully Latics will be firmly in the playoffs by then. What do you reckon, Dave?
Oh, easy.
Alex Reid, leading goal scorer.
Yeah, promotion push. Award-winning podcast by that time as well.
A multi-award winning podcast
multi.
by that time as well. So yeah, so it's all good, guys. It's like we said on the podcast, it's half full. The glass is definitely half full.
Yeah.
At the minute, but let's.
If
I
you
don't,
want,
I don't want to lose this winning this undefeated run on Saturday. I really, really want us to win that game.
I know, but we've just got to be prepared that good things come to an end. But it doesn't mean that they're going to be like that forever, So keep your chin up. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Boundary Park Alert System, a QPod production hosted and produced weekly by Matt Dean, Andy Halliwell and Dave Bradley. QPod is Oldham's only dedicated podcast production company, and if you'd like to learn more about how podcasting can help take your brand to the next level, visit kupod.co.uk. A huge thank you goes to all those people who subscribe to the podcast on Spotify. We really appreciate you all. Please visit oafcpodcast.co.uk and click Be a Supporter or find the link in the show notes if you'd like to help us fund the show. It's only $2.99 per month to subscribe, but if you'd rather make a one-off donation, please visit buymeacoffee.com/OAFC podcast or click the link on our website. Don't miss the Latics football phone-in every Wednesday live from 8:30 p.m. Please visit youtube.com/@OAFC podcast and do hit subscribe while you are there. You can also follow and interact with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and TikTok @OAFC podcast. Big thanks go to Eileen Finnegan for writing our excellent weekly blog, which we encourage you to read on our website every Saturday morning, and also to Paul Prendergast for providing us with all the Latics Mind questions. The title music for the show is by Manchester DJ and producer Starion, and for more information visit bandcamp.com/Red Laser Records. If you'd like to be a guest or contribute to the show, we would love to hear from you. Until then, see you next time.